Hello everyone. One of the main aims of acquiring education is to settle down in life. Settle down by getting a good job. A job that gives you satisfaction. And let me tell you, as a lawyer, one of the most satisfying jobs can be to join the Judge Advocate General's Department of the Armed Forces. The Armed Forces, which comprise of the Army, Navy and the Air Force. In this video, I will be covering 4 aspects. Why join the Armed Forces? Very briefly, the procedure of joining the Judge Advocate General's Department of the Armed Forces, and having joined, what is expected of you, what are your roles and responsibilities, and lastly, post-retirement benefits of a Judge Advocate General Department officer. Armed Forces comprise of Army, Navy and Air Force. They all have their own Judge Advocate General's Department. While the Army and Navy select their officers through SSB, in the Air Force, an officer with 3 to 13 years of service can apply for a posting to the Judge Advocate General's Department. As regards the Service Selection Board for the Army and Navy, a candidate, both male and female, between the age of 21 to 27, having 55% marks in the law degree, can directly go for SSB. As I mentioned to you that for the Army and Navy, there is direct SSB. There is no written exam. So when you get your call for SSB, you reach the Service Selection Board and the procedure starts. Let me tell you, this is one of the finest selection process, not only in our country, but in the world. It is very impartial and very objective. But I must tell you that you must be honest. Show what you are. Don't try and pose, because the selection process, which all of you, I'm sure, know, you must have read some books, you must have attended certain webinars or coaching institutes. The selection process, which is divided into 4 parts: the psychological aptitude test, the physical test, the ground task and the interview. They are all interrelated, and the documents that you submit, you are judged on those documents in all these tests. And if you try not to be honest, you are bound to be caught in any of these tests. So be very honest and go and show what you are. So these tests, 4 tests, what are they looking at? The psychological test or the physical test or the ground test or the interview. What are they looking for? What basic attributes are being looked at in you? So with my experience of SSB and then being in the army, I think they are looking for 6 basic attributes in a candidate. I'll briefly deal with them, but let me tell you what are those 6 attributes. A positive attitude, confidence, your analytical mind, good communication skills, teamwork, and leadership qualities. Now, let me give you examples. See, I did not go for any coaching. I just went after my graduation, and I realized through those tests and through my experience what is positive attitude. When you go for your psychological aptitude test, you are shown a picture. It's a very, very basic example that I'm giving you. You are shown let's say you are shown a picture where a girl is standing with a telephone in her hand. Now, one person will write, she has just received an intimation that her brother has met with an accident. The other candidate will write, she has received intimation that her brother has been selected in the SSP. So you see, one aspect being looked at in 2 different manners. One is a negative aspect, the other is a positive one. You are given some simple words to write sentences. Nobody is looking at very flowery English. Meaningful sentences, simple, which can be understood by everyone, but which depict your positive mind. Let's say water. You are asked to write a sentence on water. Now, one person will say, water is a source of life. The other person may say, flood waters cause havoc. So I don't have to tell you in this which is positive and which is negative. Now, I told you confidence. See, there will be 10 tasks, your physical test, there will be 10 obstacles to be cleared. With slightly degree rising, 1 to 10. You are required to clear those in 3 minutes. It happens that not everybody clears all the 10 obstacles, but still get selected. Some clear the 10 obstacles, and since time is there, they come back and repeat the obstacles and not selected. So what? Why? Confidence. Let's say there is an obstacle where you climb certain stairs, you get onto a platform and you are required to jump down. Now, if you hesitate standing there and if you look down, I'll break my leg or something, you are lacking confidence. Nobody breaks leg jumping from there. So when you are perform very confidently. You must have seen the videos. There is a swing, you get to catch a rope and clear a ditch. Hold on to the rope and take a swing. So what if you don't clear the ditch? If you land in the ditch, start running and clear it. Run away. But don't just catch on and keep thinking, will I be able to do it or not? That is lack of confidence. Have confidence in you. I'm not saying overconfidence. Have confidence that yes, if I have come here, if he can do it, why can't I do it? Have that confidence in you. Now, analytical mind. See, when a problem is given to you, we are all lawyers. We all learn to be analytical in a given position, in a given situation. Now, when you go there, they are all lawyers. So you analyze when you are given, let's say there is a group discussion taking place. A situation has been given to you. You think over it, what are the pros, what are the cons, and then start talking. When you speak sense. Nobody is saying that you continuously speak. No. You speak 3 sentences, those sentences must make sense. Now, good communication skills. Every lawyer must have good communication skills, whether it be written or it be oral. Now, basically your oral communication skills are being tested. Why? Because as an officer of the Judge Advocate General's Department, you will have to go and brief your counsels. There may be occasions when the court may ask you to appear and argue. Now, if you lack confidence, if you don't have communication skills, how will you present your case? How will you serve your client? So have good written and oral communication skills. These are things which you can develop. There is no harm to read, and you will learn all these. Now, teamwork. When you will go there, you will find certain ground tasks are required to be done. Now, you will have to do individual tasks, and then you will have to also do team tasks. Now, in that team task, at least if I give my example, if I take my example, let's say I had gone there, I had no idea. Now, there were people from different places, they were friends, and I was all alone. But I had the habit of talking to people and mixing around. So by evening, I had made friends. This is again a positive attitude I'm talking about, and how teamwork will develop there. Now, by evening, I had made friends. In the ground task, when group task was to be done, they ask you to select candidates who will help you. Everybody, or I would say most of them, called me. So that shows that I had the ability of getting into a team and working as a team. So remember, when you reach SSB, talk to your other candidates, make friends with them, and this is definitely going to help you. Leadership qualities. I'm not saying be a tyrant or be somebody forcing your way. Leadership qualities means, in a given situation, how will you handle it with your capabilities? So when there is a team task given, a group task given, the candidates have the habit of straight away starting, isko aise karte hain. No. Analyze, you tell them, okay, friends, let us first see what we are required to do. What are the sources available with us? And then make a plan. And if this is how you are telling them, the ground task officer is watching you. He understands that here is a candidate who has leadership qualities, which is very essential in any of the armed forces, whether you are in a fighting force or whether you are in the Judge Advocate General's Department. These 6 qualities, if you have, there is no stopping you. And none of these qualities are which you cannot develop. So develop these qualities and be aware of the surroundings. Be aware of what is going on in the world. The interviewer is going to ask you questions of what is going on presently. So you all know what is going on. What are our relations with China? Even games, IPL, what happened? So what happened to elections? Let's say you are going now. What happened to Bihar election? Something of that sort, and that you will develop if you start reading newspapers every day. Read a newspaper every day, because that gives you what is going on in the world. Now let us come to the role and responsibilities of the Judge Advocate General's Department. The Judge Advocate General is a single point contact between the 3 services and the Ministry of Defense. All 3 Judge Advocate Generals are of the rank of Major General in the Army, a Rear Admiral in the Navy, and Air Vice Marshal in the Air Force. The Judge Advocate General is the advisor to the formation commanders and commanding officers on all matters of discipline, legal, and litigation. The officers of the Judge Advocate General Department basically perform the duties of conducting courts martial, handling litigation in all courts, it be High Court, the Honorable Supreme Court of India, the Armed Forces Tribunal, and sometimes also in the Central Administrative Tribunal. But in your younger service, your major role is to conduct court martial as a judge advocate. Interestingly, a court martial is like a jury trial. The members of the court martial are generally not legally qualified. So it is the judge advocate who conducts the trial on behalf of the court. He summarizes the entire evidence led before the court. He renders legal advice to the court, and he assists the court in arriving at its finding. In litigation, the Judge Advocate General's Department have legal cells at various places which are more prone to litigation. Practically now, all the Armed Forces Tribunals, we have 15 benches of the Armed Forces Tribunals. Then we have some litigation pending in the High Courts, and of course, finally, the Honorable Supreme Court of India. So we have legal cells at all these places where basically the officers go and brief the government councils, and on number of occasions are given the right of audience by the honorable courts and the tribunal, and they argue the cases before the courts. Then, while posted in the formation headquarters, you are advising the commanders on various legal issues. Let me tell you, all laws of the land are applicable to the armed forces personnel. This is in addition to the specialized laws, the Army Act, the Air Force Act, and the Navy Act. So all officers and personnel of the armed forces are governed by dual jurisdiction. So you have a very important role to play in advising on all matters relating to your service as well as the other laws. With the internationalization, the role of the Judge Advocate General's Department is also increasing. The cooperation between various international armies. So you are now handling laws at the international level also. You assist in policy making. Whenever the armed forces are deciding on various policies, they are drafting their policies, they will seek the help of the Judge Advocate General's Department in ensuring that these policies are legally in order. Okay, so now let's come to a very interesting aspect of this video. Having acquired a job, and when you are moving ahead in life, moving towards retirement, a worry starts creeping in your mind. What after retirement? And particularly in the armed forces, where the retiring age is earlier than the other government jobs. So don't worry. There are tremendous options open once you retire from the Judge Advocate General's Department. You are a lawyer. You have acquired specialized knowledge by being in the armed forces. So after retirement, you can become a litigating counsel. The options have increased with the Armed Forces Tribunal having come, because that's a specialized tribunal, and you have specialized while being in the Judge Advocate General's Department on Army Act, Air Force Act, and Navy Act. So you can become a litigating counsel, And let me tell you, a large number of retired officers are now practicing. Some of you can join the corporate world as an in-house counsel. You are interested in corporate laws. You can join the corporate world. A large number of officers are now being employed as legal advisors by firms, by government organizations, semi-government organizations. You all know that ADR is getting a lot of prominence. So you can get into arbitration and conciliation, both nationally and internationally. You have good written communication skills. You don't want to go and argue in a court of law. Then you can be a good drafting counsel. You draft petitions. You draft complaints, etc. on behalf of the officers and men, which can be argued by the other counsels. And then one of the most noble professions, teaching. Take my example. After 35 years of service in the Judge Advocate General's Department, I immediately joined as Dean of Law in a university. And now it's been more than 5 years that I'm there. There is an option of joining the Armed Forces Tribunal or the Central Administrative Tribunal as an administrative member. We have had one of our Judge Advocate Generals as a member of the Central Administrative Tribunal, both at Calcutta and Allahabad. We have had one of the JAGs as member of the Armed Forces Tribunal. And let me tell you, all officers join as Short Service Commission, all Judge Advocate General Department officers join as Short Service Commission officers. So if you don't opt for permanent commission, Short Service Commission officers get benefit in various government jobs, like the judicial services, state judicial services. Some of the JAG officers have served the judicial services and have retired. And there are at least 8 to 10 Short Service Commission officers of the Judge Advocate General's Department who are still serving and have risen to the position of Additional District Judge till now. So don't worry, even post-retirement, you have tremendous options available. Today, life expectancy has increased. So definitely everybody looks forward. You have the strength and power and will to work more. So that is available to you post-retirement also. Well, thank you very much for watching this video. I'm sure it has tickled your mind and you're more excited to join the Judge Advocate General's Department. You have any queries? You have any suggestions to make? You have any questions? You're most welcome. Please write to us at the details given on your screen, and we will come back to you with suitable reply. Jai Hind and God bless you.